So, welcome back, everybody, to part two of my four-part commentary on my latest PC build. Today's topic will be the custom modding that goes far beyond what I normally do when I build a PC. For starters, I early on already decided that I wanted to have the PC case and part of the water blocks and radiators powder coated. And to do this, I had to, of course, dismantle all the PC case and get them to a powder coater. I did this early on and was actually pleasantly surprised because it only cost me around 150 euros in the local shop here. And he basically media blasted all the radiators, which left them with this very nice copper finish that you see here, as well as protect all the different things with about a coat of roughly a millimeter thick of powder coating, which make them very resistant against scratches. And this actually later on the water blocks led to some problems that we will discuss in the next part. Overall, this turned out very nicely. I powder coated it in this gunmetal gray and dark red, and it was easy enough to afterwards get them all together. Again, this case and the blocks. The next thing I did was I wanted to have a custom inlet and outlet on this case so that it would be easier to fill and drain the distribution blade. For that, I had to drill 2 holes in the top and 1 on the bottom to have these fill ports actually mounted there. What I did was a little bit suboptimal because I decided to do that after I had the parts shipped off to the powder coater, and I had to drill into the parts that were already coated later on. With all this mounted, I found out that while using a 360 radiator in the bottom of the case, it's impossible to basically vertical mount the GPU, and that led me to, at first, as you can see here, regularly mount the graphics cards, and later on I went back into Fusion 360 and designed my own vertical mount that sits right on top of the 3 fans on top of the radiator. And I actually had that custom built for me as a one-off at first, and it was very expensive, unfortunately, but it worked out great. And I could later on actually use the 360 radiator as well as mount the card. As the main applications that I wanted to use here on this PC was VR as well. I decided early on that I wanted to install one of the HTC Vive wireless cards, and I wanted to have that mounted behind the GPU. And that's one thing that I'm probably going to go back to later on, because the wireless card comes with a stock heatsink and a green PCB, and it doesn't really look very nice. It's currently covered up very well by the graphics card, but I think I will go back to that later on and perhaps design a custom heatsink to be mounted on that. The second thing that I really wanted to come back to was perhaps design and 3D print a vertical support for the GPU. Right now, it's just held up by the riser cable and by the tubing. And although it seems pretty rigid, I wanted to give it a little bit more of an extra support, perhaps mounting it to the PCI slots on the side, and then have something to where I could screw in the regular PC cards to give it a little bit more rigidity. That's it for the custom modding. In the next part, we'll talk about a little bit about the water cooling and what I did, and I hope to see you on that one as well. Bye.